Right, we are live for the penultimate round of the... I don't want to play music, Nathan. Oh, we have 9. 10. 9. 9, 9, 9, 9. Which is a bit better than we had before. Load up the comments. I don't want to hear myself. So we've got 9 drivers here today for the penultimate round of the SLR Gr.3 Group 3 Championship. Tom wrapped up the title last week at, what's it called, at Brands Hatch. No, I'm streaming, Benny, I'm sorry. I mean, I could drive, but... I'll just say that to him. Obviously Tom wrapped up the championship at Brands Hatch last week. The Constructors is all to play for. I'm not sure the standings. I'll load them up right now. Google Sheets. GT3. Brands. So the standings in terms of the Constructors is now 11 points between Fast Drivers and Team Chopper. Chopper closed in last week by getting 2nd and 3rd. So that's going to be quite close at the end. Obviously, the fast delivery drivers could wrap up the championship if they have over, let's think, 18 points clear. I think that's correct. Thinking about it now. So 18 points clear of the chopper drivers, and I think there's 18 points. I'm just thinking about second year. 18 points. I mean, I come up with these rules and I still don't know. 18 points between first and second. Between the fast drivers. I shouldn't have had a drink before this commentary. I tell you, I can't get my words. Between the fast drivers and what's it called now? I forgot. And chopper racing, there we go. That's what they need to win the Constructors today, and vice versa. Obviously Team Chopper can't do that. They can make it 7 points into their favour. That's if Tom and Olet do not finish in the points, but that's fairly unlikely. Other thing we need to know is Scottish Aldo is Mr. Aldo. His account got banned. In terms of the race, I am thinking Benny will win this. Possibly Raoul 2nd. Tom, unfortunately for him, Raoul will be back in a minute. Unfortunately for Tom, he went to Amsterdam. I think he's only just come back. Literally, just come back. So I'm not expecting miracles from him. But if he did win, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. We've got Dory here this week as well. Rob's here. Sigsaw is no longer racing with us. He's just told me literally 5 minutes before the race, which is nice to know. Especially as I couldn't find a replacement driver in that time for my team. Alan doesn't seem to be here, and I don't really know why, because he hasn't said anything, which is quite unusual. So yeah, it could be tough as Raoul still hasn't rejoined the session, which will be quite concerning. Obviously he's got 4 minutes till lights out. No one's going to give you the... Of course you make a tyre change with a spoon. Has a disgusting strategy in the chat. And if to change tyres or not, I think you'll be changing tyres at some point in the North life. As Raoul's drawing back. So our drivers today are Rad Father Tom, Aldo, Rob, Benny, Mocking Weeks, Dory, but November and Olet. Not in that order, but I can get you the order. I'll load it up now. I feel a bit like James Hunt. I'm sorry, we'll be a commentator, you know. He was more of a wine person than a wine bird. And vodka and shit, stuff like that. Oh, I'm sticking with a beer. The grid will be Black November on pole again. Buckwheat second, Dory third, Baba in fourth, Benny fifth, and Tom in last in sixth, which doesn't seem that far down. Really. And obviously Mr. Aldo and Six Order DNF'd. So that's our grid for this North Shire Grand Prix. Obviously it's a very challenging track. They've just asked me to race because I'm on my team here, but no practice with North Shire Life is, I think it's worse than doing practice. Actually, what am I saying? Doing practice with North Shire Life, you're just going to crash. And I mean, Black November saying he hasn't driven at the North Shire Life. But I'm expecting him to do something. I didn't know that a lap was that long. Oh dear, Black November. He didn't do no practice because he didn't think the lap would be that long. It's the neighbouring North Shire Life. He's in trouble. Well, he's on pole, he's not going to win this race, it's fair to say. If he didn't know the lap was this long. But there's our grid. Rob's in last. Ollie, Aldo, Tom, Benny, Baba, Dory, Mocky Mix. I'm thinking Mocky Mix has a chance, obviously from second on the grid. I don't think Black November will last very long in the lead. Due to him not knowing the track whatsoever, which is a problem. As we're about to get underway, as you can see. It's turn 8, I'm just waiting for Tom to start it up. And there we go. We are starting the second German Grand Prix of the year at the North Shire Life. He's never driven the North Shire Life. He's in trouble. Why can I click on that? Ooh, look at that. That's a glitch. Ooh. I mean, fix this. I mean, this is disgusting. Dory has left the session, so I think we'll be getting a restart. But here we go, 5 red lights are coming on, but I think we're going to be getting a restart, yeah. And lights out and away we go. Dory's off the session, but Black November gets away in the lead. Mucky Mix clear second from Raul. Benny without a livery this week. Tom, Aldo, Olit, and Wee Man Tom. Miro Man Rob, should I say, getting a bit feisty. We're going to keep an eye on the lead battle because I'm sure Mucky Mix will be wanting to get past Black November as quick as possible. Obviously everyone knows Black November has not done a lap of this track, so just told them all, so just give them all the psychological advantage. And I don't think he'll last very long in the lead of this race. There's contact between the cars and Black November's dead already. That isn't a surprise. Benny's now to third, Tom fourth. Benny's really sticking in the middle of the track. Mocky Mix is getting away from all of them, and hopefully he'll be able to get away for the British drivers and prevent a German from winning German Grand Prix here at the North Shire Life. We've got Benny second, who's German, Tom third, who's German. We have, but I'm fearing a restart might happen here. We've got Rob, and that's Raul de Baba in last place. There's oh, that Scottish Aldo has binned it. And there's the other. I think we're going to get a restart here. Mocky Mix is there. But nobody's saying anything about a restart, but Gr.3 left the session. I'm pretty sure we're going to get one. It's Tom and Mocky Mix are going to go side by side as Tom bins it, and I think that'll trigger a restart. But Mocky Mix gets away with it. That's why I'm thinking now they're starting to push for the restart. Yep, there we go. We're getting the restart. It took a while, but I knew it was coming. We tend to get quite a few restarts in these races, I'm finding. This beer's going to iron quite nicely. Gotta say. No offense, Black November, you're all over the road. Let's go and get another one. Bottle opener. Oh no, what's the bottle opener? It's a disaster. What's the bottle opener? Can't have a beer if I don't have a bottle. Valley's just setting up the grid. Oh, it started the final. Oh, okay, we'll ignore the bottle opener situation. Because we've lost the bottle opener, so we can't open the beer. Which is a bit of a disaster, I'm not gonna lie. We've got a bit of a situation, the bottle opener situation. Right, let's watch this start. Now we are ready, this time, for the start of the race. Has someone left the session again? No? There's just a missing grid spot over there. Spot. There, and as away we go. We've got Black November who gets away quite nicely from Mocky Weeks. If we can get to the lead, that'd be nice. Mocky Weeks in second, as we were before. Dory this time in third. Raoul fourth. Benny has a livery this time in fifth. Tom sixth. Aldo 7th, Ollie in 8th, Robin 9th, but we're going to keep an eye on the battle for the lead because Mocky Mix will want to get ahead of Black November as quick as possible because he knows he don't know the track, so he's not going to be quick at it, is he? He hasn't done his research. Obviously Black November knows a little bit of the track now, but as you can see Mocky Mix has got that run. Maybe up his gearbox, trying to put him under pressure to make some sort of a mistake and hopefully let him pass but nobody else, so he can get a gap. But here he goes now. On the slipstream, he's keeping it in the middle of the road. He's been quite smart as Black November Jr. at the minute. Holding it in the middle of the road, and there's been an accident, and it's Dory, and it's piling up behind. But everybody just about survives, it seems. Dory just gets away with it, just drops a position to Raoul, which is the least of his worries, as Black November Jr. is trying to defend against Mocky Weeks. Mocky Weeks being very careful this time. Obviously, he doesn't know that how slow Black November's going to go. Black November going skidding through that corner, that's not slow whatsoever. There's Raoul de Baba now, he's looking at Mocky Weeks, he's all over the back of him, he knows he can't make that move, it's a Nurbergring, and he tries to make the move but doesn't manage it. Into the section, I don't know what it's called, but it's a section of the track that I know quite well, I don't know what it's called. As we're going into this very tight section. Sorry, my knowledge of this Nurbergring life isn't very good as Black November Jr. has binned it. He's rejoined just behind, I think it would be Aldo, as they're going side by side. We're going to keep an eye on this battle as Aldo gets ahead of Black November Jr. And this is where it starts to get dangerous. The first bit's quite easy, the track, so Black November did okay to get through there, but except for that, it's been a pretty tragic start, especially for Dory, who just got involved in that incident and obviously just piled driving into the pack. But we're going to keep an eye on the lead as Mocky Mix is seeming to get away a little bit from now from Raoul, and he wants to be stretching that gap to release the pressure so in the closing laps he can just take it steady and not risk it. For the chocolate biscuit, and he can just take the chocolate biscuit without risking it. He's got Raoul in second now, his teammate in the chopper car. The choppers are doing very well at the minute. Obviously Tom, they want to be holding him off as much as possible to get as many points over him as they can, and he's backing him into Scottish Aldo, which is Mr. Aldo, if you didn't know already. Raul still in second. Mucky Meeks pulling that gap out. We need some telemetry. He always turns us off, I don't know why. There we go. So 1.6 seconds now between Aldo, Mucky Meeks and Raul, and then there's further 1.6 seconds to Benny, who's holding off Tom quite nicely at the minute. Obviously it's a very narrow track, so it's very difficult to get an overtake done. It's easier to get an overtake done at Monaco than this track, it's fair to say. He's right up his chuff right now. Tom is trying to make a move. It's very tight for this session. It's very high speed but very tight. But if he's going to make a move, it's got to be quite ballsy. But it seems that Benny is keeping it in the middle of the track. Obviously these two are 1-2 in the championship. Tom has won the championship. Benny in second. But he wants him to keep second. We're just going to keep an eye on the lead. It's 2.4 seconds now to Mucky Meeks' favour. 2.5 seconds. So he's stretching that gap to Raul. Benny third. Tom in fourth, really putting on the pressure to Benny. Benny's keeping it nicely so far. Aldo just behind. 4 seconds behind him is all it seems to looks like he's been in the wars, bad damage on the front of his car. We've got wee man Rob in 7th. He'll be quite happy with his start, keeping it out of trouble. I mean, he doesn't look like he's killed his car, which is a miracle, Rob, let's face it. Black November won't be happy though. He'll be hoping that someone makes a mistake ahead so he can get points, but Raul's closed the gap by half a second in recent corners as Mucky Meeks is making some critical errors through that section, and he's been able to keep caught up by another 4/10, half a second even on Mucky Meeks through that little section. And Benny's closing in on Raul as well, and Tom is also closing on all of them. So we've got a nice little race going here between the top 4. Aldo's managing to keep up slightly. Yeah, it's quite close. It's a lot better than Brands Hatch last week, it's fair to say. That's my phone died. Because Brands Hatch was, let's face it, I fell asleep. But Mucky Meeks has made a mistake in the lead of the race, and that'll allow Raul to take the lead. And that's the sort of mistake you cannot be affording to make. Obviously, Mucky Meeks very few drivers that actually racing. I can get hold of Mucky Meeks. Why won't you let me have Mucky Meeks? Well, anyway, Mucky Meeks is one of the few drivers that races in our SLR 2-1 and the GT League as well. In fact, I think he's the only one now. Yeah, he's the only one. We've got Raul de Baba in the lead by 1.8 seconds to his teammate. Obviously, Mucky Meeks made that mistake. They're hoping that the other people make mistakes so he can catch up, but he needs to go away from Ollie, and hopefully him and his teammate can have a bit of team orders so he can let him back past. But it's still quite close. We've got Tom right up the gearbox of Benny, going into the last section onto the straight, and Benny goes all over the shot through there. And this might be Tom's chance on the straight, a bit of slipstream, and he might be able to do it. It might take a bit of aggressive defending by Benny to stop Tom coming at him. As you can see the time coming down, that's on the slipstream, and he might have to do a bit of weaving to try and slow him down. Obviously not dangerous weaving, just a bit of tactical weaving, but it looks like Tom's going to go for the move on the straight, and it looks like he's going to get the position on the straight as Benny gets a bit of contact on, but will they try and get him back before they even get to the end of the straight? As Benny, the time's coming down, will he get him under braking? He's trying to, he's going side by side with Tom, not quite. Good try, Benny, but it didn't quite come off here. Now we're coming on to the last part of the sector as 2 people are pitted. But was that a mistake by Benny? Because I don't know if he can go another lap. I think he's flashing his lights. Maybe he knows he's made mistakes. Everybody's pitting. It'd be interesting to see where Tom comes out in all this. It's been hold for quite a while. Second. Oh no, Raul just about. He was a clear leader, and Raul is just about got the lead of this race from Tom. Aldo has been held up quite a lot. Mucky Meeks isn't that far behind his teammate either. Olit and Dory, and I think Black November Jr. has backed out of this race, so the positions as it stands are the positions. I don't know where Dory is. I think he isn't. There we go, Black November saying his race is over. Obviously, not knowing the track isn't a good start, but it's quite close between everybody else. There's an 8-second gap to wee man Rob, who has somehow found his way in 4th, which I don't quite know. Maybe he just kept out of danger, kept his car intact and ended up in 4th. If Rob even gets any points today, I'll be very surprised. But because he hasn't got points all season, and the fact he hasn't damaged his car yet is beyond me. For somebody that is known for killing himself, basically. Raul de Baba is in 2nd, still ahead of Tom. It looks like he's pulling a nice little gap. Obviously, he knows he's seen him overtake Benny on the slipstream. Benny's 10 seconds into the lead, but I don't quite know. Obviously, he has to pit. I don't know if that's a big enough gap. Obviously, they've been purple all the time, but so are these guys under fresh tyres. Obviously, they'll be heavier, but I don't quite know if Benny can make it in that Porsche triple car. As you can see, Tom's keeping right up with Raul. Raul has to be perfect to keep ahead of Tom to try and win this race. And it looks like Raul is just about staying ahead, but that straight is lethal. He needs to get a good exit onto that straight, otherwise he's got no chance of staying ahead of Tom. As you see, Benny got a really bad exit onto the straight and it cost him. Rob is still holding down 4th place, which is nice. 3 seconds ahead of Aldo. That'll become a battle quite shortly, I would reckon. And I think Mucky Mix will make it a battle of the both of them. And Olit, our former champion from last season, would like to make it a battle of all of them. I'm sure Dory will be quite disappointed where he is right now. Obviously, he's had a couple of really good results of recent. Yagawaga, I can't pronounce the track. Yagawa is called. Yagawa, I don't know what it's called. And Brand Hatch, he had a very good result there as well. But it looks like we're going to get a nice little battle for 2nd and 3rd. The lead of the race will be quite tight. I don't know where Benny will come out in all this. What's interesting is he's nowhere near straight yet. It's quite a long lap of the Nurture Life. We've got Raul in 2nd, Tom 3rd, wee man Rob, Scottish driver, also Scottish Aldo. As you can imagine, you know what his nationality is. We've got Mucky Mix and his teammate's car. I'm pretty sure they had different liveries at the start of the season. Now they're the same. Different colours. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure that Aldo actually had a lighter car. Maybe not. But it looks like that Mucky Mix is closing in on Aldo fairly quickly. It looks like Rob isn't pulling away. He isn't pulling away. I'll be mistaken for saying that. I have got... Oh, subscribe. Where do we go from this? We're just going to keep an eye on this battle for now, but it looks like Raul is pulling a gap. He needs to pull at least a second to get onto that straight and stay ahead of the slipstream of Tom. But it looks like Benny will come out behind all this on fresh tyres. He might be able to close the gap, depends how brave he is. He looks quite brave, judging by that. But Rob is holding his own in third. He's losing time all the time, but he's not crashed. And I'm not going to put the commentator's curse on him, but I don't think I think he will at some point. But I mean, there we go. That didn't look too promising, did it? But Aldo's closing in. He's driving quite smartly. It looks like he's got damage to his car. Mucky Mix is closing in as well. Not particularly fast, I must admit, on Aldo. He's actually lost a little bit, to be honest. But we're going to keep an eye on this battle for second as we go onto this straight. It'll be interesting to see how they do going on to the straight, because it'll be very difficult. Stay ahead. We're not getting another restart. There's Raul now on the straight. It looks like he's got enough of a gap now to Tom. So we've got a nice camera there. That's a nice camera. Thank you, Gr.3, for a nice camera. It looks like he's got enough, but it looks like that Tom has been braver in this little section. And he's gained a little bit, but he's on the ragged edge, it's fair to say. Raul 7/10, is that enough? It looks like that he's lost a little bit there, as Tom. It's now nearly a second, and it should be enough for Raul on this occasion. Because now we're going on to this long straight that goes on forever. In these cars it doesn't last as long as using slow cars. I've done it in a camper van before, and trust me, it goes on forever. As you can actually see, that's a nice view. You actually see Benny there, and then you can see the others of Tom and Raul. As Benny's going purple all the time, but they all be going purple all the time. Benny will definitely be pitting this lap, because I'm sure his fuel can't go much longer. 6 seconds to Raul now, so they have definitely closed in. He's got to have a very quick pit stop. As you can see, he's gone in with no fuel, so he must have lost a lot of time. And as you can see, Raul and Tom have gone past. It'll be interesting to see where Rob comes out in all this even. We're watching Rob now. 18 seconds to Benny, but he's still at Aldo, and looks like Mockymix has made a mistake. Benny's still in the pit stall. Is Rob going to go ahead of him? It looks like he's just about going to come ahead of Rob. There's 9 seconds. He's lost 9 seconds to the front two of Raul and a rad father Tom. Oops. I wasn't meant to do that, sorry. Just going to keep an eye on this lead battle now, as I went a bit silent obviously, to listen to the engines. It's quite loud game sound to commentary, so if I'm shouting, I'm sorry. But Rob is really surprising me right now. He's holding his own against Aldo. I mean, he's losing time in their whole lap in itself, but he's actually staying fourth quite nicely. He could be a driver of the day, I'm not going to lie. Oh, Tom got a twitch on. Oh, that was very close. And this is the battle for the lead. This is very close indeed. But as long as Raul gets the run onto these straights, he'll be okay. Because these bits and bobs are a bit too narrow. I'm wondering if Tom has actually still got damage on his car, or he's actually fixed in the pit stop. It looks like he's still got a little bit of damage, but I may be wrong on that. The gap's closing, 2 tenths between them as I'm falling asleep. As well as Scottish Aldo has actually got past Wheelman Rob, I think he's crashed. He's behind Olit now, so he must have. Can't see any noticeable signs of damage, but if we can go on board, that'd be nice. We can switch cameras. Oh, there's a bit of damage. With Rob, Olit, Mockymix the one that's closing on Aldo. Aldo will be very happy with his 4th place right now. He knows he can't do much better than what he's doing at the minute. Benny, as you can see, on the regular edge, but we're going to keep an eye on Tom. Got lots of views. We're going to stay on the hood of Tom. It's a nice little view of the track and how tight it actually is and difficult, especially this corner. This corner can catch you out so badly. It looks like that Raul is staying ahead just about, but he's closing all the time. You can see how much he's closing. There's enough room for 2 cars, but if you put it in the middle of the track, they're not getting you. And you can see Raul there using the track to his advantage there. As you see Tom, there's no way he can get around him, as he's going to go for the move now. As Tom is going to go side by side with Raul on the grass and everywhere, and he has to pull out, otherwise he's going to cause a massive crash. As Raul has lost the car, he's got to come across on Tom, he's got to, he doesn't, and Tom takes the lead for temporary. He's in the wall again, and Raul isn't going to get it back, or is he? He's going to dive bomb down the inside, and Raul gets the position back, and they're still going side by side in the Nurbergring, and it looks like Raul has got the position back off Tom. That he is back, he's closed in on both of them because of that. It's now 6.3 seconds, and it was about 9, 10. So Benny, don't discount him just yet. Scottish Aldo might be a bit too far, a bit off. As Mokimix looks to have made a mistake, because he's behind Rob now. It looks like doing leapfrog or something. There's now on board with Tom. Oh, that was close. Oh, there's a little jump there by Tom and nearly ran wide. But he's looking like he's trying to stay in the slipstream of Raoul, with Benny closing in all the time. There's 3 laps to go after this one. As Raoul is all over the place, it seems. He gets it turned in now, so there, as you can see, Tom brings so much of that carousel. You can see how much lag is on board. Actually, in-game lag isn't that bad, but it looks like Tom might actually get him now. Look at the extra speed he's carrying, and he looks... Oh, he's short again now with the extra speed. Raoul's a sitting duck, or is he? Where's the speed gone? Looks like they're just maxed out. Or is he staying behind on purpose? I'm not sure. It looks like he's trying to make the move now. Is Raoul powerless to this? Why won't it give me Raoul? I don't know, but Tom is in the lead of this race now, I think. Yes, there it is. We have Tom in the lead of this race. Obviously, one mistake could end it for either of them. This Raoul has made the mistake. Tom has pit for a second time. Maybe he's realised he's underfueled the car, and that was Raoul. After all that battling and messing about, he's actually leading the race again. This is drama. And Scottish Aldo has managed to get himself back onto the podium. Well, onto the podium, should I say. We've got Wayman Rob in 6th. Obviously, he's not going to benefit from this. And he's actually going to come out behind Aldo, and Aldo will be knowing he's fighting for a podium now. As Wayman Rob pits again. Mocky Mix carries on, so he gets 6th back. But Benny and Raoul 1-2. This is exactly what they was looking for in this race. This would be a full 18 points if they manage to hold this off, pull this one off. To the fast delivery drivers, as Aldo's made a mistake. As we're looking now down over the bridge, and now over this hump is another braking zone. It's only a very shallow braking zone, and it's basically flat, as you can see. And they flat all the time through here. Over the hump. And now this next corner you shift down 1 gear and then just fly it in. You can run very wide and it could be very disastrous for you, but look. As you can see, it's actually kept it pretty flat in fact. It doesn't shift one down 1 gear. As Aldo's shit himself and he's gone to Narnia. It's unfortunate. And you want to watch out for Ollie here because he's not too far behind. But Tom is now on the podium. Ooh, that looked like to get away from him. What's this? Raoul and Benny have slowed. Why has Raoul slowed down so much? It's 2.4 seconds now. It was like 5 or 6 seconds when Tom and Raoul were battling. Maybe Raoul's made a mistake. Can we have a look at his car? Yeah, it looks like he does because he's got damage on his rear. I'm going to go back to this camera as I quite like it. Oh, Tom's in the ball. Oh, we didn't get that, but Tom has binned it from 3rd place. Aldo say thank you very much and take that, and that Could be a massive mistake for the Constructors' Championships here, as Mockingbirds won't be threatening that 5th place unless there's significant damage, which it did look quite heavy impact when he went in to the wall. Our champion has binned it into the wall, and that's what lack of practice can do to you. But Aldo will be very happy that he's on the podium, but he's got Aldo not Ollie not that far behind. Ollie hasn't been really anywhere this season. So for him to get a podium, he'll be very happy with that. With Aldo now in 2nd. Benny looking like he wants to win this race ahead of his teammate. It looks like Raul will either way get 2nd place. Tom pitting. I don't know if it was a mistake on the pits or what. Whatever, you know. It was a disaster for him. But whatever it did, it caused a mistake from him. His teammate Ollie's got a bit of damage. You can see he's had that whole race pretty much. As we're on lap 4, as we're coming through now to the mid part of the lap. That's where we're about to the minute. It's as you can see, the fastest lap of the race is actually by Mr. Aldo of all people, with a 39.2. And that is not how you take that corner. And Mr. Aldo may be forfeiting. He has forfeited 3rd place to Ollie. He's kept it fairly consistent from the start, to be honest. Yeah, he hasn't quite got the pace, but he's been working his way up quite nicely. And now he's on the podium, behind the 2. And that'll help the fast delivery drivers who will be getting 6 and they'll be getting 10 points from this. So there was 8 points, which will put it down to 3 points overall. The gap between the fast delivery drivers and the Chopper team, who are winning 1-2 at the minute. So it could go down to the wire, this one, for the Constructors, which is next week is Mount Panorama Bathurst, which is a very difficult track in itself. Obviously last year, Nene and myself nearly won the race, and Alan nearly won the race, and it just went to a disaster. Obviously I was battling Tom that day, and Tom went on to win. It was unfortunate, but it's just the way it went. But I retired to the commentary box. I could have made a comeback today, but decided not to. Can't believe I lost my ball up on her. Special note to actually Tom's dropped behind Wee Man Rob of all people. I mean, special mention for him. In 5th place, Rob. He's done a stellar job. I mean, Dory's been having crash after crash after crash. That's what we're used to from him. Before this is like rich vein of form with him in the Boom Boom Room crew. Mockingbird 7th. Very disappointed with him the last couple of rounds. He should have done more in bronze. Wasn't his fault they didn't get a podium. Obviously, lag destroyed his race, but he could have done a lot better. And today, bottled it from the lead. Tom, I've got to say, he's dropped off from Rob, so he's only going backwards as Tom. Might actually get Mockingbird overtaking him at this rate. In P6, he's really, really struggling. Ollie on the podium by 3.5 seconds to Aldo. And the 2 Chopper cars are actually running in formation. It'd be very stupid of them to crash. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with team orders. They know that, in fact I'm talking absolute bollocks, because Benny's got ahead of Raul. So team orders won't come into effection because it's already happened, as Raul's actually pitting from this position. So maybe it is a 2-stop. New tyres. Where's Ollie? He's coming around the final corner. Will he come out ahead? And it looks like that they've built up enough gap to the Chopper cars to come out ahead, as Aldo is actually pitting as well. Will Rob be able to get Aldo to get 4th place? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? But I think Aldo's got this one covered. It doesn't look like Rob will threaten that. he's coming around the final couple of corners now, and Aldo's in turn 1. So, might be a strategic move to go on the fresh tyres, fix the damage, and try and catch Olet as much as he can. And Olet might have to pit, judging on the 2 stopping so far. Olet might still have to stop. So it's very interesting to see. As Benny might still have to stop as well. We're not sure about that. If he doesn't, he's pretty much won this race. Obviously he stopped a lap later than everybody else. Raul pitted on this lap, and obviously he'll be on the last lap and next lap, so then he might not have to stop again. So this might be a little bit of a tactical masterclass by Benny here. The person in second place. Obviously Tom is down in 6th right now after pitting, but Mokimix has decided to pit. Looks like he's fixing all of his damage. Will he be able to catch Tom? 22 seconds. With all Tom's damage at the minute, I think that might be possible. I mean, he's gaining a little bit. They're losing a little bit. But I think it's possible. He's fixed all the damage and it's all presently correct. I know it's 2 laps, but 2 laps of no shell life will last forever. Stupid as it sounds. Reman Rob's in 5th on his own, which is a very good drive from him. Scottish Aldo is in 4th. And he's actually catching Olet on this lap, so it shows that the damage has been fixed and he's faster than Olet, and he's trying to get a bit of a psychological advantage, try and get to around 10 seconds by the end of the lap, and that might result in him catching him. Benny, will he pit? Be interesting to see. We're not 100% sure who's going to win this race yet. Obviously Raul pit earlier. Got Olet in the 3rd place, and the DHL fast delivery drivers. I mean, it's the name's a tongue twister in itself. I can't remember it. Fast delivery drivers car. Aldo 4th, 15 seconds back from Olet. He looks like he's made a mistake because he was about 13 at some point. There's Benny's actually set the fastest lap by 35.9, which is 4 seconds faster than Olet's previous fastest lap. Aldo's previous fastest lap. And he's going purple again by 3/10, which isn't a lot around this track whatsoever. I mean, it's a very long track to get 3/10 is. Yeah. But it looks like Raul can't match the pace of his teammate today. It hasn't been recently. Pretty much all season. Raul can perform in some races, and in some races he doesn't quite get there, it seems. We've got Olet still camping out in 3rd. I think Aldo might be able to get him though at some point. If he picks, then yes. As always, made a mistake. He's ran wide there as Olet, and we'll see if Aldo makes gains on that little mistake from Olet through the carousel. Very difficult corner, as you can see. Aldo takes it nicely. Oh, he's in the middle. I've got to say, I've taken the carousel quite a few times in my time, and I don't think I've ever got it wrong. But he's gone into the middle there as Aldo, and he's lost quite a lot of time in fact due to that. $16 seconds to Benny. Benny has I think he has enough time for a pit stop over Raul now. Olet 7 seconds back from Raul. He's drive quite nicely, to be fair. I think he's been catching Raul, in fact. Aldo 17 seconds behind Olet. But we're getting to that time in the lap where we'll see if anyone pits Tom is 34 seconds behind Rob, but he's 20 seconds clear of Muckamix. I don't know if Muckamix has made a mistake somewhere. I don't know the gap before, but it does look like his car is badly damaged at the front, so he may have crashed at some point in the start. I'd expected him to gain a bit more than that with Tom's damage that he had. He's still gaining, look, as you can see. It's down to 19 seconds. And Dory's only 16 seconds off Muckamix now. He's like 40 seconds off everybody. Right, getting back to the battle for the lead. We're going to keep an eye on Benny. If he pits, then Raoul has half a chance of winning this race. As we see. There's Raoul. We're going to watch Benny. Is he going to come into the pits? No, he isn't. And that pretty much confirms to me that he was going to come around the corner to win this race. Obviously, one lap to go. Anything can happen at North Shore, but he can cruise now. He's got 15 seconds. He doesn't have to risk it. He doesn't have to try anything smart or to try and anything dangerous. He just needs to chill basically and get round to come across the line. We've got Raoul. I don't think, unless he performs miracles, I don't think he's winning this one. I think he had decent pace to begin with. If he'd stayed ahead of Tom, I reckon he could have won this. But obviously, it just didn't seem to have the pace when it mattered, and Benny set the fastest lap, and then it didn't seem to happen for him. But he's gaining, but I think Benny's just coasting at the minute, if I'm going to guess. And to be honest, of the top three, I think Benny's the one that stayed out of trouble. Because obviously Raoul had his battle with Tom that ended in a bit of a disaster, and you can see the scratches on the car. Benny looks like he's come out unscathed in all this. If we have a look at his car, I mean, there's no damage on the front, not really, and there's no bad damage on the rear, so it looks all pretty nice from him. We've got Raoul second, obviously. Tom's actually pit on the last lap of the race, so that'll allow Muckamix to close up on that overtake. I think this is to try and make sure that Muckamix doesn't overtake, rather than anything else. As you can see, Muckamix coming through the last corner, absolutely going for it. But through turn one goes Tom. Muckamix is here. And it's 9 seconds, you see. So there's half a chance, but it depends what Tom's done with his car. If he's only just refueled and run again, then it won't surprise me. But Rob, the man of the moment, in my view. If he gets P5, unbelievable stuff. We'll have a party. In fact, I'll find a bottle opener and open a beer. But to be fair to Rob, he's stayed out of trouble for the most part, and he's done okay. So fair play for the Boom Boom Room guys. In fact, he's not in the Boom Boom Room, is he? Or is he? Can't remember. I can't remember. Shall we have a look? I mean, we've got plenty of time. I mean, this is a very long lap. On a side note, though, I'm pretty sure he's on the Boom Boom. Oh no, he's in Dory Racing. I remember. Yes, I remember. Boom Boom Room aren't here this week. Neither is George's Cobra person, and neither are my drivers, and that makes up pretty much the grid. Next week I'll have drivers. I'll find out where they are. Aldo, I'm going very slow for that corner, but it's a very still corner, so can expect that. There's Raoul's actually caught on this lap, but Benny looks to have it won. He's just cruising, I think they're just cruising for this 1-2. They want the 1-2 to gain the points over the guys at what's it called? Fast delivery drivers. 6th place will yield 3 points, and 3rd place will yield 6. That means 9, and they'll be gaining 18. That means they'll gain 9 points, which will put it down to 2 points going into the Mount Panorama. I mean, the Team Chopper guys can still win the constructors. And it's all about consistency, and It's basically whoever wins the race really next week wins the constructors, because you get 10 points for winning. But mind you, if you get second and third, and then let's say Olet came 8th, then you're in trouble, aren't you? But 2 points is quite a lot in this, so championship. Every point matters, and they'll know that, and they'll know that. As Mocking Weeks has got past Tom. Unbelievable. Tom's lost it again, I'm assuming, because there was 9 seconds with a lap to go, and now Mocking Weeks has actually passed Tom. Will he go well behind Gr.3? That would be the ultimate insult for the champion, to finish last. Obviously it was like, I don't know why my controller's not working. I'm stuck on Gr.3 and I don't... Oh, I'll do that. Okay. There we go, I fixed it. No, I've opened the game, I don't want to do that. I want to open YouTube. So, we're going to be coming on to last lap. Well, we are in last lap, I don't know what I'm talking about. We're coming down to the last couple of corners. This is the final time they'll be going around the second carousel for this season. Tom. Oh, and Mocking Weeks has span on the last lap. Tom stopped his car. I think he might be letting him back through. Why is he letting him back? I do not know. This is drama. He's parked up. This is quite weird. I don't know what's going on. Tom's gone letting Mocking Weeks go back through. Maybe he's wanting to make this interesting, I don't know. But the constructors will be down to 1 point going into the last race of the season if it stands like this. And Tom's lost it in himself. And he's forgot about Gr.3 and all this. He's like 5 seconds down the road from Tom. He's not that far back. It's now 3 seconds. He's gaining all the time. But we're going to stay with our leader. Oh, no, we're not. We can carry on with Gr.3. It's 3 seconds closed behind Tom on this last lap. And he can smell 7th place. He's been in last for all race. But he can still get that 7th place. But the person who's kept it most consistent, this last lap's not been a stellar one from him, but it doesn't matter because he's cruising to come across the line. And Benny is going to win probably the hardest race of the year at the Nordschleife for Team Chopper. Well done to him as he skids across the line. We're going to go to Raoul, who's making it a 1-2, which will make the constructors down to 1 point as it stands going into the last race of the season. We've got Olet, former champion from last year, showing a little bit of his form that he had last year. This year he hasn't really performed, and that's why the fast drivers haven't won the constructors as of yet. Obviously it's going to go right down to the wire, it seems, and he's going to come across the line to come in 3rd place. I think that might be his first third in the season. I'm not quite sure on that one. Gr.3 has made a massive mistake, 16 seconds behind now, so that's off. Scottish Aldo, he'll be happy with P4. Not the best of races from him, he can still do better than this. He'll learn from his mistakes, and I'm sure he'll come back stronger for the next race at Map Panorama. Wee Man Rob, driver of the day, he hasn't got a point all season. He's known as Mr. Crash-A-Lot, or Sir Crash-A-Lot, and he's going to come across the line for his first points of the season in P5. Well done to him at the hardest track that he can possibly do on this game, and well done to him. Mocking Weeks, Tom actually let Mocking Weeks get 6th place, it seems, because Tom had it and then he stopped him and waited for Mocking Weeks and let him have it. Be interesting to see if all these guys cross the hustle. I think they will finish this race. But you should see if Gr.3 finishes this race. He's halfway down the straight. But Mocking Weeks, it's what could have been for him. He had the pace, but too many mistakes has cost him, and it's going to come across the line for 3 points for him. Red Forever Tom is going to come home in 7th. Very disappointing, worst result of the season for him. And now we are going to wait for Gr.3 back to his old self, I'd say. he'll be hoping for better next week, I'm sure. The last race, it's gonna probably, it feels like it's going to be a cracker because of the way it's been set up. Obviously the drivers have well and truly been sorted by Tom taking it by the scruff of the neck and winning by a country mile, but the constructors is all to play for. And Team Chopper have won with Benny this week. Fastest lap, and they had a clean race as well. That's quite rare, to be honest. So yeah, guys, thank you everyone that tuned into the stream. I've been a lot more exciting this race than the last one, it's fair to say. Thanks to all the drivers that take part in this race and the rest of the season. And yeah, until next week at Mount Panorama, I'm Neneo47, and we're out of here.